What are variables? How did they work and why are they so important? Hello, my name is Sam and welcome to Code Wizard. Now, I know that most of you think that they already know everything there is to know about variables. Yes, we know what it is, we know how it works, and we know why it's so important. But I'd like to prove you wrong. That's easy. var, that's what variables is. var in JavaScript. Yo, I saw that last time. Pfft, easy. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Variables don't work with just declaring them anywhere, anytime you think you need them, and just let it be. That's just not how it works. So today I'm going to be discussing three kinds of variables. I'm going to be discussing global variables. I'm going to be discussing scoped variables, and we're going to be discussing constant variables, whether or not they are global or scoped. So before we get started, let me introduce you to Slickyblocks, today's sponsor. Slickyblocks is an in-house product that me and my team have been passionately working for the past 3 years. And it's not just a regular website builder. It's a complete solution developed and designed to help your small and medium-sized business thrive at a low cost. Your Slickyblocks, you can seamlessly create a professional website using our AI-powered generator, add your product and services, and even set up subscription or donations with ease. But that's just the beginning. Connect your social media feeds directly to your site, manage your shipping effortlessly, and utilize our marketing tools to boost your website's ranking. Whether it's custom emails, newsletters, or powerful analytics, Slickyblocks provides everything you need to maximize your audience and thrive sales. Slickyblocks, empowering your business to succeed online. So let's start with global variables. And I'm going to share my screen and let's go over it. So open a browser of your choice, whether you want to use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. Does not really matter. What we need to do is to open the developer tools so that you're going to have access to basically how the browser is behaving. This is a little trick I've been using for new students. So once you go there, you just delete the entire content of whatever is in the body. The other thing I would suggest is to put the tab to the bottom. It usually is easier to read, and then you can just basically do like a 50% screen and 50% your element or console view. So the first thing we'll be doing will be to create what we call a global variable. So let me call, and in JavaScript, we're going to be using the keyword let or the keyword var. There's slightly differences there, but we're going to be going over both anyway. So let's say that we wanted to create a person. So let person, and that's it. We just create a person. There is no data associated with it. If I click on person, the browser will know that this person has been declared, so it exists, but it's just undefined. It doesn't have any value attached to it. Now, if I want to give this person a name, like maybe Jimmy next to me here, right? So now the name Jimmy has been assigned to that person. So person is a variable, and it's holding data. Right now, the name it's holding, or the value of the data that it's holding, is just a string, which is basically a piece of text. And that piece of text value is Jimmy, okay? I can always override it again. I can say, you know what, let me check first. Let me check the value of person. So if I do a person, enter, I still see Jimmy. Good. So it is working. I'm able to save the name accordingly. There's not much to it. You just put the equal sign and that works. Now, if I wanted to change the name, person equal Sam. Now, if I look at person, the new value is Sam. Nothing, no magic there, right? It's just a variable. It behaves like a normal variable, and I'm able to change the values. If I want to do that again and I want to change it to Sam2, for instance, now if I look for person, it's going to be Sam2. It has no historical concept of the previous values. There's no way for me to determine that person used to be Jimmy at some point. If I clear the window here and I just type person, you'll see that the value is still SAM2. It has no concept of the previous data. Okay, so that these are basically global variables. So now say that I had a function. Okay, so I'm going to create a function. Right, that would be called get name. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm defining a function, and then I'm defining the content of that function. I'm going to do Alt-Enter to go to the next line. Or you know what, I can just use Visual Studio Code and create a new function called getName. In it, I'm going to be creating a variable called person. Exactly the same name, but this time it's a scoped data. So purposely, I will do that. And I will just put here that the variable name is Jimmy again. Okay. And if I said to this function, I want you to return person, right? Let's see what it's going to return us. So I have this function defined. I'm going to copy, control, and instead of typing it here, it's easier to just type it on the other side and enter it here. So now what I did is I declared this function. So if I say get name, right, get name, it returns Jimmy, even though the name person has been set to SAM2, because SAM2 is the global variable version of the word person. And don't forget, person is just a pointer to that data. And whatever I chose to name the name person in my getName function really has no saying on what the actual person's name variable really is. See, it's still person. If I do getName again, it will return Jimmy anyway. It does not change anything. So now let's go back. I'm going to do another example. So I declared person to be Jimmy, right? But now what if I just don't declare anything? I'm just saying return person. Okay, so if now I want to return person, just the person that's been declared somewhere globally. If I say get name, it returns SAM2. And what if I change that name? So if I say person equal to Johnny, okay? If I call the function getName, it is Johnny. It is returning the value of the global variable. Okay, so global variable can be used in any of the subsequent functions in your domain. So now let's do something different. How about if my function, I'm going to change the value of person. I'm going to say now person is equal to Mary. All right, let's just make it fair. So now the person is Mary. I'm going to do copy, and I'm going to clear here. So it's easier to read. And now I'm going to define this function, getName. Now I'm defining that person is Mary, right? So I'm going to clear again. Right? Now what happens if I do getName? It returns Mary, which is kind of normal because I said that person was now Mary. What happened to the original variable person? Do you guess? Mary. Because this is a global variable, and what I'm doing is I'm updating the value of the global variable. So global variable basically means that this is a variable that you use at the entire life cycle of your web page in this case, because we're using JavaScript. But if it was an application, it would be at the life cycle of the application. There is a global variable. Or if it was at the class level, it would be the global variable at that class level. So it's basically at whichever level it's been defined. So that's what we mean by global variable. Okay. In contrast, and I think I did this already in the previous example, a scoped variable, let's use the keyword let here, and let's not use the word person, let's use patient. Okay, so if I define this variable inside my function getName in here, and I'm saying patient equal to Mary, Of course, I gotta return Mary because person is different, somebody else. All right, copy. We paste it here. Actually, let's clear 2 again. Okay, and now we're gonna paste and get name. Patient is Mary. Okay, return patient. So if I use the function get name, no problems there, right? No problems at all. It will return Mary. That makes sense. How about if I just say, hey, I want to use patient directly? I mean, I did declare it somewhere, right? Even you can see that it does not exist. It's not defined. Even if you're just to type it in your console, it doesn't recognize it. It's like, I don't know what patient is. It does not exist anywhere. That's because it's not defined at the global level. If I change that and I say let patient, right? Patient will exist, but because I didn't define any value, it doesn't exist in this, it doesn't have any value. But if I still do get name, it's still going to be returned Mary. If I still do patient, it's still undefined. These are 2 different things. Because it is scoped at the function level, this variable only exists at this function level. It does not exist outside this function. I have another example for you. So I create this patient at this level. What if I have an if statement? So let me go and say, I don't know, let's if true. So basically this will always come in. Now I have this different scope here. Now this scope is at the if statement level. And here I can create another variable. Actually we don't even create this patient at this level. Let's copy it inside of here. So I'm only defining this patient at the if statement level, and that's it. And I want to return patient. Do you know what's going to happen here? Can you guess what's going to happen? I can give you a couple minutes to figure it out, but let me just clear in the meanwhile. Don't cheat because, sorry. Let's just clear if I can clear. Okay. So if I define this function and I try to run this function, get name, which I didn't define yet, so let me define it, sorry. Okay, get name, boom, boom, undefined. Why is it undefined? I did declare it. I did declare patient. But when you really think about it, patient is not being declared outside of here because this, the way that you declared this variable was declared inside of another scope. So you have a scope at the function level, you have a scope at the page level, then you have a scope in this case in the if level statement, and this variable is scoped inside of this if statement and only in this if statement. If you move this in here, right, you moved it here, and now you did whatever you wanted with it, like as long as it's declared above it, we're in business. So you could change Ken, for instance, right? As long as you do that, you're not going to have a problem because it's true. What's going to happen at the computer level, at the browsing level, it's going to process the data. It's going to come here and say, oh, I have something called patient and the value is Mary. Then if it's true, whatever the condition is, it will go in here and says, oh, no, patient is now Ken. And then it's going to return that patient because it's been defined in this function. So at this function level, when I'm returning this, it is behaving because it knows it recognized this patient here. So if I were to return it here and declare it in here, that would be no problem, even if I don't declare it here, because I am returning a variable that exists in the same scope that I'm returning my value. Let's try it. Okay. Declaring it, saving it. Now clear the screen. I'm doing the clearing just so that we're all clear every time, that there is no confusion. And if I call name, now it returns the word Ken because I did declare that Ken was Ken in here. Okay. I hope this was easy. So now the last type of variable that I wanted to introduce you today, to keep things simple again, would be constant. Constants are great at providing data one time and defining that that data does not change over time. I don't want it to change. That's why I'm making it constant. I'm not making it a let, I'm not making it a var. I'm simply keeping it a variable that I don't want to change, like for instance pi. Say pi, and the value is going to be 3.14. Okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't declare another pi. Okay, it's going to come up with an error. Same thing if I do in a function. If I come to my function that say, let's create a new function and call it set pi. Okay, and I'm going to say that if I don't need this, I'm going to just say that let pi equal 9.0. Okay, and then return pi. Okay, if we do this, declare it. Okay, now use it, set pi. Oh, sorry, I forgot the parentheses. Pi. You're like, I don't understand, because you said that it's not supposed to change. It's not supposed to change, but this pi at this level, did I spell it the same? Yeah, I spelled it the same. So this pi at this level is a scoped variable. Okay, a variable nonetheless. So this scoped variable here is outside this one that we declared the parent here. I didn't do this. Okay, if I try to change the actual pi example and redirect this function, let's redeclare it. This will be a problem because I cannot assign a constant variable. It's exactly what it says. Assignment to a constant variable is an error. I hope that these little tricky examples are helping you understand the difference between a global variable, a scoped variable, and a constant variable. It's a little bit, it could be a little bit confusing. That's why I wanted to have this video. And I wanted to make sure that because you're just learning programming, these concepts must be understood really, really, really early. Otherwise, it's going to create problems. You're going to have issues. You're going to expect data that's not going to be there. You're going to have data that is not the value that you expect, or you're going to set something that's not supposed to be set. You're going to have changes in data that you've never expected. And so that's why I hope these examples will make it clear.
Can't use var everywhere or let everywhere. I have to think about what I want to use and where I want to use it.
That's right. You don't want to use var or let everywhere. You want to use the correct type of data. You want to declare the data that you need. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to make everything a global variable. You want to make sure that you scope the data to the scope that is required. So it could be within a function, within a for loop, a while loop, if statement, and only use these variables when needed. And also very important, if you know that something is going to be constant, always make it constant, so that you're confirming that this data will not change over time, that it cannot be changed. Think of maybe on a specific page, at the scope of a page level, once you loaded a customer social security, for instance, number, or a phone number even maybe, you want to make sure that that phone number cannot be changed. You want to confirm that it cannot be changed. If you declare it a constant, no matter what happens, it cannot be changed. You'll get an error as soon as somebody's trying to assign it, whether it's you in your code somewhere or somebody trying to manipulate your code to get something on the screen that they're trying to change when they're not supposed to change it. So these, for security reasons even, are really important. So I hope this video was helpful. If I missed anything, please send me a comment below. If you have any other questions or other videos that you want to see, below. And otherwise, don't forget to subscribe if you like this channel, and visit slickyblocks.com that are making these videos possible. And don't forget to like at least. Thank you so much, and see you on the next video.